Hello my beautiful lights and welcome back to the channel. How are you all? It's great to have you. So if you're new to the channel, hello, my name's Lauren. I'm a master in energy. I believe we only truly master oneself. I work with mind, body and spirit in this lifetime, and I bring messages from the collective down to you guys and to the world and in my job and everything in order to aid our evolutionary journey. So welcome. We've been having some amazing chats on the community page this week. I had a deep conversation with somebody just through the night and again this morning, so it was phenomenal. I'm loving building this community. Now, what I need to speak to you about today, this came into my vibrational frequency for a reason, and they want me to deliver it to you. We're talking about the journey of healing, okay? This profound evolutionary journey you are upon. Now, if you found this message, this is very significant for the soul. And once heard, it just simply brings that clarity of mind, body and spirit. And when we understand, we can truly grow. And this is what this channel's all about. It's about your evolutionary journey of growth. It's about giving you the best experience upon the 3D and sitting in a 5D and above conscious state so you can really enjoy the journey, right? So there was a few things. So we're going to start with the first thing. I was talking to a friend of mine, actually, who's been in the mental health sector for the whole of her career. She is now retired. And we were talking about trauma bonds and things like that. Some bits she still struggles with. We're human beings, right? We are spiritual beings having a human experience. We all go through these shadow aspects of oneself. But when we let fear take control of us, we're truly gifting the wrong frequency. So I wanted to talk to you about this because I too am human. I have moments of doubt and I put myself in that vibrational frequency also, and it's how we combat that energy, right? So something really significant, we were talking about facing shadows, and we're talking about the energetic release. Now, when I was going through the mastery levels of my ascension, and forever mastering, of course, forever learning and growing, we learn from each other, exactly the point here. I assessed the situation from a logical perspective as well as a spiritual perspective, because when we marry the two, we get understanding. So I have a scientific mind, and I also have a very spiritual and open spiritual experience within this existence. So I was assessing the situation. Now, obviously, I'm a healer. We work with trauma bonds, we work with attachments and releasing such in order to move forward to get the clarity of soul. Now, somebody who I adore, you'll find him on YouTube, Gareth Tarot. He did a message last week and he said, be like a 4-year-old wearing a Batman cape. And I was like, dude, that is awesome. And if we move forward with that confidence in life, it actually sets us free. But how do we truly get there? Let me just adjust myself and get comfortable, because I've got my little table with my book here. And we are drinking from the cup. If you stumble, make it part of the dance. Amazing. And that's so very true. When we stumble, we transmute that energy into the dance. So, you make your own dance routine up. It's beautiful. So he was saying, be a 4-year-old in a Batman cape. And I was like, that is an awesome analogy of how to address the fear. Now, when we are getting clarity of a soul, when we're going through this awakening stage, we are trying to get back to that purification of self, right? So we've had the external 3D programming, the matrix, whatever you choose to call it, sort of interrupt that frequency and cloud. If you imagine your soul as a sphere, a beautiful sphere, and what happens, all of these things through our journey, these lessons or blessings, remember, we learn and grow, come into our vibrational frequency. I'm just going to adjust that. That's getting on my nerves. There we go. They come into our vibrational frequency and they cloud that sphere. And what we have to do for our soul evolutionary journey is clear that sphere, all right? So we're removing the toxicity from it by healing. And I thought about this through mastery, because when I had to do some deep shadow facing, which, it's a horrendous part of the journey, but I had to do quite a lot of it because I can't serve unless I'm at that healed state. So the shadows I had to face, I thought, as I've spoken about, we let go of stuff, but we're forever healing, we're forever growing, and things will come into your vibrational frequency we will need to deal with and get rid of. So what I was saying to my friend last night is, the thing is, in the psychology world, which is where she worked, we're forever learning to take ourselves energetically back to that frequency, that time of where that trauma happened. Now, if we did act like a 4-year-old wearing a Batman cape, if a 4-year-old falls over and in that moment they cry, they release, they then brush themselves off and they move forward, because in that moment they have felt that emotion. And especially here in the UK, what we struggle with is the typical British way of being is stiff upper lip, let's get on with it, and you shouldn't feel that in that moment. And then we bury that deep, and then a healer like myself, Reiki practitioner, Reiki master of any kind, then has to dig deep within you to remove that vibrational frequency to help you cut cords in your life. Now, if in fact we dealt with that emotion in that very time, then we wouldn't have so much to heal from. And I was like, and then I saw Gareth say that, and I was like, that actually coincides with this situation. Yes, be a 4-year-old in a Batman cape, because a 4-year-old is a pure essence, okay? So they haven't had the external forces toxify their frequency. So therefore they feel and they simply are in the moment. And we can learn a lot from children. We learn from everybody and everything. Our hearts are never open more than when we're around our grandchildren, our nieces, our nephews, our children themselves, because of their purity of light. And we're trying to return to this purity of light through our healing journey. And I was like, wow. And then speaking to her and giving her my interpretation of how we deal with things, she was like, but if we learnt this within my sector of her world, then we could combat this frequency a lot quicker and a lot easier. And I'm like, well, it's just basic logic with spirituality, because mind, body and spirit is actually a collective. It's oneness of self. And when we realise that we work with oneness of self and understand what that oneness means, then we get true clarity of our evolutionary journey and how to heal in order to combat certain frequencies moving forward. And I was like, whew. So moving on from that, it was very, very in depth, as most of my conversations are, because we learn, we grow from one another, right? And I needed to do a heart frequency meditation yesterday because it's been a big week. I've been dealing with a lot of people's shadows and things like that, and I need to heal. I fill up my own cup, self-love, it's very, very important. So I did this meditation, this heart frequency meditation. It was beautiful. And if you can imagine, I was in this log cabin and I opened the door and there was this full being. And it looked a bit like Wentworth Miller, and I was like, but he came out, there was not that attraction. It was like an unconditional love I felt, but he was very, very beautiful. And he came out, he was 6'4" or above, he was very, very tall, and he'd been sort of pushed in the closet and the door was closed. And I undid this closet door and he came out, it's like coming out the closet, right? And I was like, oh, what's this about? And I didn't understand it in that second. I had to sit with this frequency, and I spoke to a couple of my friends last night after dance, and we were assessing it, and I believed it was a part of my heart I'd locked off, actually, because obviously being a healer, we protect our heart frequency. This is my heart stone, but that wasn't it. I am completely open-hearted. I sit with vulnerability, compassion and love. But we were in this cave to start off with, and then we floated down this river to the sea of love, and we were holding hands the whole time, just laid loving the frequency. And I didn't know what it was. And then this morning, I had this massive, massive information that it was a new angel I should be working with. And it's an angel through a trauma bond, because I might be a master, but I still have certain things that I thought I'd healed, I had locked away. And I opened the door to him, and it was absolutely beautiful. And I can feel my heart opening now. It's gorgeous. And we do that as human beings, right? Through our experience, through our human life, we lock certain parts of ourselves away. But when we actually heal and move through the frequency, and the reason it's coming to my vibration is because I've done the healing now. You know, I hadn't before. So that's another level up, because I'm going to get more information from a different angel and a different frequency. And it's very exciting. I can't wait to, you know, closely work with him and get to know each other better on the soul opening level. It's absolutely gorgeous. So we level up each and every time, and we get some more information, and it was so beautiful. I can't even tell you how gorgeous it was. And the whole thing about this journey, about this healing journey, is if in that moment we felt that emotion, and that emotion can be anger, it can be love, it can be every single emotion you know in your human form. If you feel it in that second, would you hold on to it? If you voiced yourself to that person in the correct, right way in that moment, would you resent them for not speaking your truth? So if we in that moment, if somebody offends your frequency and they say something and you take that really offensively and it actually upsets you, if you make them accountable for that situation and the words that have come out of their mouth and the words they have spoken, then you won't hold on to that negativity. Do you understand? So, you know, you can voice yourself in the correct way, in the right way. The new earth is all about truth and light, and it's about the new frequency, the abundant frequency. Now, the abundant frequency is a healed one. It's a healed one. I had somebody comment on the community page about abundance, and you can read it all, and they were asking about success in the matrix, as in financially, and success in the spiritual realm. Our level of success isn't measured by monetary gain alone. It's everything. It's mind, body and spirit. The monetary side of things, however, we should never be sorry for, because the money we live in the 3D gives us the freedom so we can explore, so we can actually venture into the world and feed our souls. And I was explaining to them, which you can read, that we've all been in a vibration of lack in some part of our existence. You know, we haven't all been born with a silver spoon in our mouth. We've journeyed through the depths. We've been hungry. I know I have, you know, and losing and working through the vibration was actually the biggest part of my soul growth, because I can sit with compassion of everybody and everything, and I don't see value as in how many degrees somebody has or whether they're a doctor or a bin man. I see value in both and absolutely everything, and I think that just gives us a balanced frequency, because it's the 3D that defines success, as in how many degrees somebody has, how many houses somebody has, how much money someone has, when actually it's what we hold within here. If we've been blessed enough in the financial and spiritual realm, then we can help others, because we do know what it's like to go through a vibration of that situation. And that is a gift that God's given us. You know, if you can be trusted with little, you can be trusted with much. And that much is shared in different ways. You know, energy, frequency and vibration. And money is just but energy. It's a tool that we need. Now, this tool, as any tool, as we've spoken about tarot, can be used in a positive or a negative form. Unfortunately, those in power, you know, most of them are through self-serving, greedy so-and-sos that make us see that money's a negative thing when it's not. Abundance in all forms is a beautiful thing. I am so abundant in this life, as in the love frequency, the love I have around me, the communities I've built. I am the richest I could possibly be in the love sector, which is absolutely gorgeous. I'm not talking about partners and all of that. It's the frequency in which we surround ourselves. You know, we're gifted different types of abundance in this world, but every type matters. And when you master the matrix and the spiritual, then you know you've won the game. And that's what I said to them. It's not a negative thing at all. It's a very positive thing. It's what we do with it that matters. So if you have a light frequency, you share that light frequency. And that's what came in afterwards. And I was contemplating, not thinking, I just go deep within. I go into my hermit mode, as I call it. And this is where the information comes through. And if we've got a gift of any kind whatsoever, that should be shared in a frequency. And that is your light work. Your light is your gift, as it were, and your gift to the world. So if you have a light you need to share it. And I just felt there's been blocks. There's been blocks in somebody's frequency, and I felt this. And then it was Wentworth Miller coming out of, you know, that closet door, and it was amazing to see. But it was actually an angel, which was amazing. It's so random. I know it's random, but that's the way the energy works. So I deliver how it comes, and I won't falsify anything. A spade is a spade with me. It's very sword energy. If it comes through as Wentworth Miller, the only way how I can give you a visual, he wasn't exactly like that, but he was as beautiful as Wentworth Miller, right? So I have to deliver the message as I see the message in order to give you a visual. So yeah, it was very, very interesting. If we've got light, we should share it in any form. And that doesn't just mean spiritual stuff, you know. If you have got abundance in this world, in the monetary realm, if we share that with the ones we love, use your discernment, share it with communities you love, use your discernment. That is your God-given right? And that's the message that came through. When we have little, we can be trusted with much. And, you know, I just delivered it on the community page, and I just wanted to dive in deeper. Now, I believe that knowledge shared is also currency. And when I was speaking to my friend last night, who I say he's been worked in mental health for 35 years, it was a direction, and she's never looked at it from a different perspective. She's only looked at it from the 3D programming in which she was taught at university, right? So when I gave her a different angle and a different perspective to look at the situation, she actually understood. It was like all the light bulbs turning on at once with her frequency. And because she'd been programmed for so long in that sector, because they have a rule book they have to stick to, a tick list they have to stick to, ways and means, and they have to do it a certain way because that's the way the 3D have taught them, then they realised that they were actually bound. They couldn't have their freedom. They couldn't speak freely. And remember, you know, if you've got psychological problems, please go and see a doctor, because I'm not a doctor and I don't claim to be a doctor. I'm simply giving you my opinion. So, and I was giving her my opinion. So when we marry the mind, body and spirit, when we work with this, it wouldn't get stuck in the subconscious programming now, would it? The trauma wouldn't stick there if we dealt with that emotion in that very moment. So that was the message, basically. Yeah, it was amazing. And to get all this information, have I missed anything, angels? Yeah, the trauma with the fear. When we face a fear, it no longer has control over us. And I've taught you that anyway. So it's about pushing against the current of life, because when we master our 3D world, we can then master our 4D, 5D and above. Not that we master there, it's a release and surrender, but it's mastering your 3D existence. Your mind, body and spirit helps you master and move forward and ascend, if you like, to the further realm. So there you go. It's pretty beautiful. Hope you've enjoyed it. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous day outside. So, you know, I'm going to work now, but I'm very much thinking on my lunch break, I am going to take a walk in the beautiful sunshine. It's trying to break through those lovely, wonderful clouds, you know, say no more. So until next time, my beautiful lights from the angels and I, bye-bye for now.